Honda has been at the forefront of automatic and non-standard motorcycles ever since 1958 when they released the Super Cub that had the automatic centrifugal clutch, and ever since then they've come out with a handful of other options that allow you to enjoy a motorcycle without having to use the traditional clutch. And these two bikes are their modern iterations of that idea. We have the Rebel 1100 in a DCT transmission and the CB650R in their brand new E-clutch transmission. Ever since the announcement of the new E-clutch system, I've seen tons and tons of people asking how does the E-clutch compare to the DCT. So real quick, I'm just going to show you guys the difference between the two systems, and we're actually going to take each of the bikes out so I can show you in real life how they work. Okay, now in layman's terms, here's the best way that I can think of to describe the two differences. Think of the E-clutch as acting like a traditional motorcycle quick shifter, however, you don't need to touch the clutch handle when you come to a stop and it still will not stall out, whereas the DCT on the Rebel 1100 acts more like, think if you have like an automatic car that still has paddle shifters on the steering wheel that allow you to control it in that way. So on totally opposite spectrums, this bike can be completely automatic and do all the shifting for you, and this bike can also be fully manual and have no E-clutch intervention and act just like a normal motorcycle, but then they bridge the gap in the sense that this one can go from automatic to being controlled by paddle shifters, and this one can be operated clutchlessly, however you still have to make the shifts yourself and it will never be automatic. It's also worth mentioning that because the DCT transmission can function as a fully automatic transmission, it is obviously a totally different transmission type than your standard manual. And because of that, the DCT bikes can weigh up to 25 pounds more than the base model of that same bike and cost up to $1,000 more. In comparison, the E-clutch is essentially just your standard manual transmission with the E-clutch added on. And because of that, the E-clutch only weighs 4.5 pounds more. And not only that, but currently the E-clutch bikes do not cost any more than the previous model year that did not have the E-clutch. Okay, now let's see it in action. I will show you the Rebel 1100 first so you can see what DCT is like. Thank you. Was she hitting on me? I'm gonna tell my girlfriend. All right, so the Rebel 1100, you start her up, and you'll see that it's in neutral right there, and over here, this is how you control everything. You can put it in drive with that, back into neutral with that, and then this switches it between automatic and manual. So traditionally, the DCT, you can just ride it around fully automatic. It will shift through gears for you, and then right here is the downshift button, and right here is the upshift trigger. So let's show you in practice. We'll start it up, then over here, you hit drive, it's in first gear, and when you first put it in drive, it is fully automatic. So I'll show you. There's no clutch lever, there's no shifter lever right here. You just roll the throttle, you get going, and I'm not gonna touch anything, but it will shift for me. See, just went into second, and then as I come to a stop, it went down into first gear. We'll go up here. You guys probably can't see the dash, but up to second, back down to first, and I am not touching anything. I can literally have all this hanging over here. It'll shift. So you get the point. It can be fully automatic. And then we'll pull out here, shifts for you, but I can override it with these triggers over here at the thumb and the forefinger. So if I wanted to downshift right now, I can hit that button and it'll downshift for me. I can shift it up, I can shift it up. So it's automatic, but it's like paddle shifters on the steering wheel of a car. Once you're done using those, it'll go back to fully automatic. See how it's back to downshifting for us? But then over here, the AM stands for automatic and manual. So if I hit that button, you can see that the D goes away over there, and now I'm in full control. It will not shift for me. So we're gonna go in first gear, and you can see it would have wanted to shift for me already, but it won't until I hit it, hit it, hit it. And then it'll stay there, okay? It's not gonna intervene with the automatic transmission, but I can hit that button, and now it's fully automatic again, and you'll see that it'll do whatever it sees fit for me. I hit the brakes, downshifts for me. I'm not touching anything. No clutch lever, no shift lever. Again, just think fully automatic, but you can intervene when you want, or you can do full manual, but you still don't shift with your foot or a clutch lever. It's just like an automatic car with paddle shifters. But then for the E-clutch, you're gonna see that although you can shift this and operate it fully without using this clutch lever, just like with the DCT, it is different in the sense that it will never be fully automatic, although it can be fully manual, and every shift is still done with a normal shift lever, whereas the DCT does not have it at all. So let's see it in action. So with this one, you're going to start it up. This light right here is going to signify the E-clutch. So right now we could start it up. And without touching the clutch, because it's in the E-clutch mode, we can kick the shifter down and it will go into first gear. It's not going to stall. And then without touching the clutch, it will move. You can go forward, come to a stop, whatever you need to do, and never touch the clutch lever, because this E-clutch system right here is working the clutch for you. So let's see it in action. Again, we can pull out of here, sketchy, without touching the clutch lever. However, it will not shift for us. I still have to tink that up, and then we're in second gear, coming to a stop. I still have to tink it down into first. And now watch this. I can wind it out as much as I want. It's never going to shift for me like the DCT does. The DCT can be fully automatic. This one cannot. So again, no clutch, but not fully automatic. So we'll get going. No clutch. Second, third, down to second, and down to first. And watch, I'll come to a stop. No clutch, it does not stall. But like I said, you can still use it as a full manual, which on the DCT you cannot. So first I'll show you the manual override. We can take off, not using a clutch, but then you'll see that light go off as I grab the clutch lever, and I can still use it like normal, and then when it re-engages, the light comes back on. We'll go this way this time so that I can show you. Even if I go up to fourth gear and I come to a stop here, it'll alert me that I need to downshift, but it's not going to stall, and then I can still pull away. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd click down, but it will do it. Oh, that's... I can't go there. And then if I'm doing slow speed stuff, I can pull the clutch in, and you see the light go off. Now I am in full control of the clutch. So while that light's off and I'm in full control of the clutch, it's just a regular manual bike. If I let it out, it'll stall, okay? So then you can still use the friction zone, so slow speed stuff. With the DCT, you don't have a friction zone. There's no clutch. So you kind of have to drag the rear brake while giving it a little bit more RPMs than usual. But right now, you can see I'm controlling the clutch 100%. Okay, so I'm using the clutch. I'll pull off. And I overrode it, but now it's back on, so I can go back to shifting without it. But that is not all. Let me get out of the way of everybody so I can show this part to you. I can go to the menu. I can go down to settings, I can go to Honda E-clutch, and I can push down and turn that off. And now, if I put it in first, it's gonna stall because it's a full manual. You see that M? Full manual. At no point is it gonna act like a quick shifter like it just was for us. It will never take over. There is no override. It is just fully a manual bike right now. If I came to a stop right now without pulling in the clutch, it would stall out like a normal bike because it is a full manual bike. Let me turn around here. See, so I have to work the friction zone myself. I'll pull out, and I still have to shift myself. And the only thing that kind of sucks about this is you cannot go back while you're riding. So if I want to switch it back to E-clutch, I have to come to a stop safely somewhere, go to the settings, and turn it back on. With the DCT, you can change between what mode you're in on the fly. So if you want to go from automatic to manual on the DCT, you can do that on the fly. With this, however, you have to be at a stop to do anything in the settings menu. Downshift, come to a stop, boom. So there's a look at how they actually function in a real world setting. Obviously, the technologies themselves are very different. How they work is very different. But in layman's terms, once again, they're technically on total opposite ends of the spectrum in the sense that the DCT can be fully automatic and the CBR 650 and CB650 can both be fully manual, but they meet somewhere in the middle in the sense that the DCT can be shifted without a clutch, or at least a hand clutch, by just using the finger triggers similar to paddles on a steering wheel, and the E-clutch bikes can be shifted up and down without a clutch lever, just like a quick shifter, and yet you can still come to a stop and it won't stall out. I think both of these technologies, both of these bikes definitely serve their own purpose, and hopefully this helped you guys kind of decide which one of these is right for you. This is just a quick baseline video, but I will leave videos in the description that I've done more in depth just on the DCT bike, talking about how DCT works, showing full length it in action, and of course another link to the video that just came out of a full day taking the E-clutch bikes on the track through the mountain twisties, all that kind of good stuff, even traffic, and that should give you a little bit better idea of which of these unconventional clutch systems is for you. Or should I say clutchless systems? You get the idea. Shout out to the Patreon members for making all this possible. Could not be doing this without you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out all my other videos, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Love you guys. Peace. Are you the ticket man?
Yes, sir.
Weird request.
Yeah.
I am going to pull a second bike over here because I need to take a YouTube thumbnail with a blank background. It'll take me 3 minutes. If you could not write a ticket for the bikes, that would be awesome. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.